Hi, my name is Haley Vasilou, and I am currently a second-year student studying finance and economics at the University of Toronto in the Rotman Commerce program. And if I were the Government of Canada, in order to attract new employees to the workforce, I would do the following. Firstly, I would ensure that I was in contact with all of the major universities' career centers across Canada. This would ensure that I have access to all the upcoming talent, both at the undergraduate and graduate level. So this would mean targeting students not only in undergraduate programs such as Bachelor of Commerce or Bachelor of Arts, and programs such as English, political science, sociology, psychology, but as well as graduate programs such as MBA programs and law schools across Canada. And I think that it's really important to build these relationships with the universities and foster these relationships, because this is where the up-and-coming talent is, and this is where you can target students who are actively seeking jobs and who want to be involved members and have really good jobs with the government. So I think that this is a great way to access them. And like I said, not only would I target the entire university, for example, the Career Center services at the University of Toronto, but I also ensure that I have relationships with the specific programs within each university. For example, Rotman Commerce within the University of Toronto, as I know that such programs have their own individualized career services that they offer students in their program. And as a student of the Rotman Commerce program, I have access to the Rotman Commerce portal, which has specific job postings just for Rotman Commerce students. So I think that if the government were to be able to forge these relationships with a variety of programs at a multitude of universities, they would have as much access as possible to the up-and-coming talent. And if they can get their job postings on these websites and through the Career Services Center, I think that they would really help to improve their presence on campus and to the up-and-coming future talent of the country. In addition to partnering with universities and their career centers, I would also ensure that they host info sessions on campus and make themselves known and interact with the students, because it's one thing to have their job postings available online to all the students, but it's another to meet them in person, to talk about the program, what the benefits are of working with the Government of Canada, and to establish personal, meaningful relationships with students. I think in this day and age, especially with social media and online communication, it's really important to establish strong in-person relationships. So I think the more that they can get on campus and speak to actual students, the better it would be to retain and attract new talent to working in the government. So I would host these info sessions at their peak hiring times, whatever this may be during the year, and come on campus to actually meet with the students. In addition, that being said, I think that it's also important to have a social media presence, and that means being on Facebook, being on Twitter, being on LinkedIn, and I think that just having a presence there and being accessible to students via these outlets is extremely important. So I think whether that means, having a hiring team or a recruitment team that has a Facebook profile, has an account, whether there's a group that you can create, a page, a fan site that you can have that students can like and spread amongst their friends, I think the more awareness you can build online is really beneficial for attracting new talent. And so again, I would access Facebook, LinkedIn, I would create a group or a page, I would post jobs through LinkedIn as well, and as well as Facebook, Twitter. I'd have an account on Twitter posting updates, job postings, etc. And so in addition to these media outlets, I would also make sure that I'm targeting online job posting websites. So in addition to having your postings online at university career centers, advertising them through social media outlets such as Facebook and Twitter, I would also target online job sites such as monster.ca, Toronto Jobs, anything online, because that's what students are accessing. And if they aren't going through the university and they're just searching on their own, doing their own searches, I think it's important to be on these websites as well in order to attract this new talent. In addition, I would ensure that your websites, the Government of Canada's websites that offer information about their jobs and careers, are easy to navigate, useful and informative. And I think that a great way to make your website useful and informative is to have someone that's online and available to answer questions for students on the go. And so I think that this would be a really unique way in order to further engage with students who are accessing your website or potential employees, and to have someone there available, perhaps a current employee, who could answer their questions and answer any clarifications for them, would be really useful as well. And I think the last thing that they could do in order to attract new talent and retain this talent would be to offer internships to students. This is something that students are always learning to, or they're always hoping to get real work experience. And if they're able to get this through the government and see what a potential job or career is like with the government, I think this is their best bet in order to retaining future talent. So when they graduate, students will go back and work for the government. So I think that by targeting younger students, perhaps in years 2, 3, and then 4 as well, with internships to work at the government is a really great way to attract talent and retain this talent. So you could have internships not only over the summer months from April to August, but also during the year for co-op students who are doing co-op programs and looking for opportunities. This is a great way as well. And I think not only summer opportunities, but full-time opportunities as well, and then part-time during the year as well as another opportunity. Perhaps for students who live in Ottawa, this may be more accessible, but I think that in general, granting students the opportunity to get internships is a great way to attain future talent.